What is going on when jazz musicians start playing? How do these songs make any sense? And what is everyone else listening to? So maybe you find yourself walking down the street, passing by a restaurant and there's some jazz musicians in it, or maybe you're at a jazz night yourself, or you got a really crazy friend who's really into jazz. In any of these cases, you might notice that the listeners are really enjoying what's happening, and all you hear is a bunch of noise. So what we're going to do today is try to figure out how we can enjoy jazz more, how we can figure out what people are listening to. And one of the ways we're going to do that is by listening to 4 recordings of Autumn Leaves. This is a standard that most jazz musicians will know, so you'll probably run into it. Now keep in mind, these are all going to be the same song. They'll vary in tempo, they might vary in melody a little bit, they might have different grooves and feels. But once you've actually noticed those differences, you'll be doing a large part of what people do when they listen to jazz, which is simply listening to musicians expressing themselves and responding in real time to their own feelings and the other band members. So let's do it. This first video is Nat King Cole singing Autumn Leaves. This is one of the earliest recordings of the songs that I could find. Now let's listen out for what vibe Nat King Cole is going for, and what the instrumentation is, and what the instruments are actually even doing.
The falling leaves drift by the window. The autumn leaves of red and gold. I see your lips, the sunburned kisses, the sunburned hands I used to hold.
So that was Nat King Cole beautifully singing Autumn Leaves as a ballad. It's a slow tempo with only voice and guitar in the beginning and the rest of the band coming in during the second day, which is essentially the first 8 bars being played again. The guitar part falls off, and then the piano takes over as the comping instrument. So that was our first listen. Now let's keep that fresh in our mind as now we listen to the second recording with Cannonball Adderley and Miles Davis. So the second recording is Cannonball Adderley along with Miles Davis, Hank Jones, Sam Jones, and Art Blakey. Let's listen to what the instrumentation is for this video and how Miles Davis's trumpet playing compares to Nat King Cole's. All right, so in this recording, we had the bass and drums join Miles Davis from the start immediately. Well, not from the start, because I actually skipped the intro. There's a really cool hip intro, very iconic, that I highly recommend you guys go out and listen to. Now the piano comes in a few phrases in of where we started, but then stays in the background playing very carefully. Miles Davis also plays more notes than Nat King Cole sang, and where Nat King Cole held out certain notes, Miles Davis actually cut them short. All right, so this next video is Chad L.B., great sax player. Let's listen to what vibe Chad is going for, and again, what the other instrumentalists are actually doing. Right off the bat, they're playing it so much faster than the first ones we've listened to. The rest of the band is also playing very specific hits. So they're actually doing the hits on the 3 and the and a 4. The musicians are leaving space for the soloist, where Nat King Cole maybe would have held out the notes. The sax player then plays the notes shorts, and then the other band players fill that space in with their hits. So here we're noticing differences in the notes being held out. All right, this last video is another fast arrangement of Autumn Leaves. These guys are an amazing trio, and because they're a trio, we can really listen out for each individual instrument. Listen to the piano on this one. This song also has a fast tempo, but listen to how the person playing the melody uses that tempo and interacts with the space. All right, so this song actually also has a cool intro with the bass player just soloing. But where we came in, the piano player starts playing the melody we've become familiar with. There's a really cool thing that the piano player gets to do since he can play multiple notes at once with two separate hands. With his right hand, he plays the melody and makes those notes short, and then responds to his right hand with his left hand. The drums and bass are playing throughout the entire time in this one, as opposed to the other tune that we listened to where they just do specific hits. But the bass player is playing on the 2 and 4, while the drummer plays every single beat. Together, the trio fills the song with fast energy, which is the drums, right, playing every single one of those beats, but then gives you also creating a sense of space, which is where that bass player is just playing on the 2 and the 4, to not overwhelm us. So we got to listen to 4 arrangements of Autumn Leaves. This is how the jazz tradition works. It's people just standing on the shoulders of giants and figuring out how they want to do things differently. We learn from the masters that came before us, play the same songs they did, but then do them how we feel them. I guarantee you that the Chad LB band that we listened to, and then the Alex Chauffi band that we listened to, I guarantee you that they're very familiar with the Miles Davis and Art Blakey, Cannonball Adderley arrangement of the song, and probably even the Duke Ellington one as well. And that's because that's how it works. We listen to everyone, but then we also want to do it the way that we feel it. Some people might feel like making some notes longer, while others want to make notes short. Sometimes players choose to straight up just leave notes out. The bass player in the second video played a very specific groove, but the bass player in the last video just played half notes on the 2 and the 4. And those were actually just the beginnings of the songs. We didn't even go into the solos. We didn't go into the rest of the song. We literally just listened to the beginning. So it only gets better from there. But it does require us to, again, become familiar with the tunes to then be able to appreciate how everyone is doing things differently. So if you have any questions you want to ask, or you notice something that I didn't, please comment. And if you have any other topic that you'd be interested in me covering to help you appreciate jazz more, please let me know. Just make sure you like and subscribe. Bye.